You can make these eye-catching wind chimes out of soda cans and washers. They make a light tinkling sound and the metal shimmers in the sun. This project is sponsored by favecrafts.com. You'll need a few basic supplies. You'll need 3 or 4 empty soda cans. You'll also need a small hole punch. You'll need a butterfly punch. These can be found in scrapbooking or craft stores. And you'll need some clear thread. Finally, you'll need some metal washers. First, you need to cut off the top and bottom of the can. You can use scissors or a knife, but be careful not to cut yourself, as the jagged edges could snag you. Discard the ends of the can, then cut the can down the middle so it can lie flat. Trim the edges of the can so that they are smooth. Wipe down or wash the inside of the can before you begin. Now use your punch to make butterfly shapes. You'll need 2 shapes for each completed butterfly. I had 14 butterflies on my wind chimes, so I punched 28 shapes altogether. Use your single hole punch to make a hole in the center of each butterfly. You can stack them and do a couple at once, or you can do them individually. Now it's time to work with the thread. Clear thread can be tricky to work with because it's hard to see, but that's exactly why we're using it, because it will make your butterflies look like they're floating. If you're having trouble threading your needle, try using a permanent marker to color the tip of the thread. You'll cut it off later. We're going to thread needles on both ends of our thread because it will make the thread much easier to keep track of. When you thread the needles, knot the thread directly onto the needle. That way you can be certain that it won't slip off and you won't have to bother with rethreading. It's best to cut your thread long because you can always trim it later. When adding the butterflies to your strand, put them so that the pattern is facing outward. Hold them together and thread the needle through the center hole. Tie a basic knot. It's best to tie 2 of them, because if a butterfly came undone later, it would be very difficult to replace it on the middle of a strand. You're going to add the washers the same way. I'm using 2 different sizes, as they make slightly different sounds when they chime together. Try to space them an even distance apart. You'll need the center strand to be extra long. Then plan on having about 4 strands of medium length, and 3 that are short. The short ones will go on the outer ends of the branches. If you're making all your strands at once, it's helpful to clip them up somewhere so they don't get tangled or lost. Once your strands are completed, you can give the butterflies dimension by folding their wings forward. I'm using twigs to hang my wind chimes, but you could also use a wooden embroidery hoop. If you're using twigs, trim off the branches first. I'm going to tie my twigs together with a little bit of twine. You could also use yarn. Crisscross your twigs in a star shape and tie together in the center. Trim off the ends of the twine. Tie your longest strand to the center of your twigs. Tie the shortest strands to the outside ends of the branches. Finally, tie a loop of clear thread around the center for hanging. Hang your wind chimes outside and enjoy all summer long. This tutorial was sponsored by favecrafts.com. For more project ideas and tutorials, visit www.MadeByMarzipan.com.